Hey beauties, Daisy Andrea here, and as promised, I am back with a recipe for bath bombs. I've been super excited to try this out, and I ordered this mold from Amazon, and it comes with a bunch of different little shapes for your bath bombs here. So that's what I'm going to be using today. So put those aside till we're ready. It did come with a bath bomb recipe. So I will be pretty much using the recipe that came with it and making a couple of little changes and additions just for my preference. So let's get started. So best thing to do, and usually with any kind of baking or prep, separating your wet and dry ingredients. Let's get started. Baking soda is kind of the backbone of, there's actually citric acid and baking soda are kind of the two ingredients in there that kind of give that fizzy foaming once it hits the water. So I am using about 1 cup of baking soda. So just going to mix, just kind of put that into a large mixing bowl container. And I try and make sure when you do buy your baking soda that it is aluminum free. Of course, that's definitely super important. Next, I'll mix the citric acid. This was also something that you can get in Amazon, so I'll just put links to those items. And watch it doesn't get in your face or your eye. So again, these two are kind of what caused the magic, the acid and the base of the baking soda. And that's what gets that nice fizzy reaction. And these are also really great for the skin too. Next is cornstarch. And I'm going to use about 3/4 cups of cornstarch. So just kind of mixing this all up. Alrighty. Super easy. Then you want to add your salts. So you can do kind of like a Dead Sea salt or an Epsom salt. And I like to use Epsom salts. So 1/2 cup of Epsom salts. Need 2 hands for this. Of course, this is getting everywhere, so probably want to do this in the kitchen counter, someplace where you can make a mess. Okay, great. So that's it for dry. So I'm just going to stir that up a little bit. And put it aside. So for my wet ingredients, making me itchy, oil. So you can pretty much use any kind of oil you want. I had some arnica oil laying around, and I figured this would be nice to use for this recipe, since arnica is really great for bruises, sore muscles, inflammation. So I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of arnica. You can use coconut, almond, any of the standard oils, but if you do have a little bit more of a luxurious oil hanging around your house, don't be shy. If you are the type of person that enjoys the bath, then why not go to town and use something kind of funky? So that is arnica oil. Then you want to add a little bit of you can use water. I am going to use witch hazel, actually. And witch hazel, you want to make sure it just doesn't have a lot of alcohol in it, which is pretty common in some of the ones that you'll get in like the pharmacy or what have you. But it really makes kind of refreshing and tingly sort of feel. So I'm going to add witch hazel as my liquid, but water is perfect. So I'm going to use about 3 tablespoons here. And then just mix them in with my liquids. So far just oil. And also when you're mixing your dries with your wets and it's still a little dry, you can always add a little bit more liquid just to try and get that consistency where those salts are kind of holding together. Next I'm going to add my oils, and it's really whatever you want to do for scents. I usually try to aim between 30 to 50 drops of essential oil. I am doing a lavender orange bath bomb. I thought that the orange would be kind of a little energizing, refreshing, while of course lavender is perfect for the bath. Nice and relaxing. So I'm going to do about 20 drops of lavender, and then about 10 to 15 drops of the orange. Really just depends on how orangey you're feeling, but I'm going to do about 15. So the next 2 optional steps are if you want to include dry flowers. So I have some lavender flowers. I'm actually going to put this in with my dries. So 2 tablespoons of flowers, should be enough. You can add whatever kind of flowers you'd like. Some rose, calendula, chamomile will be awesome too. And then the third option, which I am not going to opt for on this particular recipe because I really like the look of the flowers and I don't want to stain the flowers, a coloring agent. So when I add my food coloring, I really like it to be, of course, because I'm sitting and soaking in it. And you want to be concerned with something that's going to leave a colorful ring around your tub. So if you have a white tub, then definitely don't go crazy with coloring. But I try and use natural coloring. I'm going to put more flowers in. Kind of going for more of a chunky look. Adding more flowers, you might have to add a little bit more liquid just to balance that out. All right. So what you want to do is slowly incorporate that wet into the dry. I'm going to mix as long as I can with a spoon, but it is quite inevitable. It smells so good. That you're going to have to start using your hand at some point. So it will start fizzing a little bit as you mix in your liquid component to the dry component. So don't be like, wait, hold on. But the slower that you mix in your liquid with the dry, you won't get that same amount of fizzing. So I will keep mixing this until it's just about there. And when you get to this point, you want to try and work as quickly as you can. So remove, leave some space to work here. And need to get my oil. What I'm going to do is grease my molds just a little bit so that they don't stick. All right, Now, according to the mold instructions, you really just want to get the form of the ball and then transfer them to set elsewhere. So you don't want to leave them in the molds. And you really want, they do say 48 hours to cure and to kind of set in this mold. So once I get them the shape that I want, wow, you really got to use some muscle. So once you get them the shape you want, then you'll just want them to set. And it is common for these to want to expand. So, especially since, you know, as soon as you start taking their oxygen away, they're going to want to expand a little bit. And then you can kind of help reinforce the shape, tighten up that ball. Nice and cute. So I'm just going to leave this on my desk to set. And then I'm going to make a couple more. So thank you for checking in. I'm not going to have you watch the rest of this, but you kind of get the idea. I'm really excited about my molds here. If you have any questions, just, leave a message for me. Also, don't forget, I am doing my free e-class / webinar, basically teaching everything you wanted to know about essential oils. What are they? How do they work in the body? How you use them? All that good stuff. Then I go through and talk about different oils, how they are used, what they're used for, what they're, all that sort of thing, what they're good for. So that is free. Just go to my website, cleangreenbeauties.com, sign up for that. That should be rolling out within the next couple weeks or so. I am going to leave in the description links to all the ingredients that I used here today, so that you can just click on them, purchase them right away, and have them delivered to your house, and you don't even have to think about it. So thanks, guys, for checking me out today. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.